Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Good afternoon, y'all. I just wanted to hop on here and speak on this week's revelation, to speak on what has transpired this week, the revelation that God has given me for this week. And so the vantage point that I'm going to be coming from is basically, in this process of evolving, not only am I evolving, but the people that I am connected to, that I surrounded myself around, are being impacted by the changes that are happening within me, in my mind, in my heart, in my emotions, in my soul, are being impacted, are bringing about impact to the people that are connected to me, the relationships that are connected to me. And so, yep, that's the vantage point that I'm speaking from on today. And so I'm gonna hop right in. My first point. So, understanding that what I'm going through, the transformation that's taking place, is not just for me, it's for others. And not that I'm changing for others, but that people benefit from the changes that are taking place, to put it that way. And so it's pertinent, it's important that I stay consistent, that I stay in alignment, whatever that looks like for me. Your life, your process may be different. Your evolution may be completely different. But for me, it's a must. It's a must. And that's not perfection. That doesn't look like perfection. That looks more like along the lines of, when I don't get it right, might as well say, when I don't get it right, getting back up. If I fall short, recognizing it, pointing it out, and seeing how I can maneuver the next go round. What is it that I can learn from this that made me fall short? What is it about myself that this is revealing to me? And formulating a strategy for the next go round, because you don't pass the test one time, it's coming back around full circle. And so that's my first point, is understanding that your evolution, my evolution, is not just for me. First point, my evolution is not just for me. Second point, stemming from the first point, knowing that for me personally, it's mandatory for me to keep going, to keep pressing on this journey, to not let up, to stay focused, to stay consistent, to stay persistent. There are going to be times where I get in the way. I'm in this flesh. And there are going to be times where my flesh wars with my spirit. There are going to be times where I'm fighting myself. It's a process. It's a process. And for those times, the most pivotal part of getting to that point, to that place, is being able to realize it, being aware of what's going on, or what's transpiring. Being aware of the process, being aware of what is going on with me internally, in order to stay focused, in order to stay consistent, in order to stay persistent, in order to keep on this, in alignment on this path that I'm on this journey that I'm on, in this process that I'm in. I gotta be aware of me. I need to be aware of when I'm getting in the way, and how to step back, how to fall back, and let God do what he does best, what only he can do. Because the transformation in my life, yeah, it's obedience on my part, but it's God. He's the only one that helps me to become transformed, renewed in my mind. Yes, I submit myself. Yes, I obey. Yes, I have to follow through. Yes, I have to have faith. But the power, the transformation itself is through him. He created us so uniquely, so beautifully, so wonderfully, intricately. Our minds, our brains, our bodies, the way we function, the soul, the spirit, the body. Creation itself is just beautiful. Depending on your perspective, depending on how you look at it. And so, yeah, for my second point, staying consistent is to be aware. Remaining consistent is to be aware. For my third point, that draws from the second point, is in my consistency, in my awareness of self, I have to understand what has already been established, what has already been done. And it didn't occur until this year that I'm actually forgiven already. It's actually in, as far as the east is from the west. Iniquity, transgression, all of that. He did away with it. Sin is no more. It's abolished. It's abolished. And we sin every day, but it doesn't have power over us. We have power over it, depending on if we, the awareness that we have of the sin. If we're not aware of it, we can't conquer it. If we're not aware of it, we can't confront it. If we're not aware of it, we can't subdue it. But that awareness opens us up so that we can. And the way in which I confront it, conquer it, subdue it, master it, is by receiving the truth. The things that have already been done, the things that have already been established from before time, aforetime, concerning me. If he says that one of the benefits of him saving me, of salvation, is that he has thrown my sins as far as the east is from the west away from me, then I gotta believe it. I've known it. I grew up in church. I've known it. I had a knowing because it was taught, because I heard it, but I didn't receive it until this year. It wasn't made real until this year. And that comes from living out this process. Living out this process in a way to where Yeah, I know I fell short there. I missed the mark. I missed it. But I'm going to get back up. A righteous man falls 7 times and he gets back up. He knows my frame. He knows me because he created me. And if he knows me and he's become intimately acquainted with me, then he knows what it takes to get me to where I need to be, from point A to point B, from transformation to transformation, from glory to glory. And so, yeah, you know, that's the gist of today's video. Point 1, my evolution impacts others. Point 2, my consistency is dependent on self-awareness. And point 3, receiving what has been already established. All 3 of these help me to be consistent, help me to gain, obtain, and walk in a level of mastery. One of my major instructions, my major steps, the thing that no matter what process or what area I'm in this process, it has always been gain mastery in all things. Gain mastery in all things. Gain mastery in all things. And so this is how I gained that mastery. Not thinking more highly of myself than I ought to, considering others higher, considering others more than myself. More than I'm thinking about myself and my process. Well, what about, you know, I'm not so having a level-headedness about that too. Not so focused on others that I forget about my process. Not so focused on myself that I forget about others, but being level-headed in that. And being aware to the point of where I see the flaw. How can I navigate this? How can this become better? How can this be better? And not to the extreme of pinpointing and trying to pick away at one thing. I'm so fixated on one thing that I don't see the whole picture, the whole process, the whole revelation of what it is that he desires for me to learn in that moment. Being level-headed in that. Being level-headed in that. Understing the truth from aforetime, what has been established already, being able to receive that, grasp it, hold it firmly, to grasp hold of it firmly, but not to the extreme of I'm trying to follow this all the way to the letter. The letter kills and the spirit gives life. The letter kills and the spirit gives life. So I want to live in the spirit. I want to live where there's life. I want to live in abundance. I'm evolving. I'm prospering. I'm evolving and I'm prospering. As my soul prospers, I'm prospering. And that in itself is a motivator. That in itself is something that fuels me, that keeps me going on this path, that keeps me choosing change, choosing transformation, choosing him. And as I choose him, I'm choosing change. I'm choosing to be different. I'm choosing another way. There's a better way. As Paul said, there's a better way. There's a better way to live this life. There's a better way to live day to day. And so, yeah, that's the gist of today's video that I want to leave you with. Esteem others higher than yourself. I've had a major full throttle kickstart to my faith, to my confidence. Because as I'm esteeming others, as I'm thinking of others, as I'm considering others, iron sharpens iron. So the same way in which I am considering them, they're sharpening me. As I sharpen them, they're sharpening me. We're sharpening one another. And in this way, we're unified in the spirit. And in this way, we're building each other up as a body. Understanding that we need one another, that one is not better than the other, but that we need one another to function. And so, yep, that's the gist of today's video. Be blessed. Be beautiful. Have a wonderful morning, night, day, evening, whenever you watch this.